Welcome back.
Welcome back. Pop Rocks and Fake Fans, episode 2.
Yeah, they
Get it. Yeah, get it. Ow.
Ow. We're going to introduce each other.
Yeah.
See how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some perception on this one.
Yep.
So, to my left, the woman who puts Harry in Harry Potter, my little sister, Wyona present.
Yay. Sorry, I thought you were going to do it like WrestleMania. Standing in this corner, 335 pounds, maybe. Almost 5'9". Anyways.
According to the doctor.
Yeah, I'm 5'8", apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And to my right, sitting beside me in her Western alumni shirt, she puts the ape in Severus Snape. It's Kylie Brissett.
Yes!
Is that not it?
That's pretty good! She puts the ape.
I was trying to think of one, and I just have Severus Snape on the brain. So.
Obviously.
Ape.
Story of your life.
She puts the snap in Severus Snap.
She puts the Severus
Snaky boy.
into Snaky Boys.
One snaky boy.
Thanks for joining us. No, seriously, the last time I checked was yesterday, so I'm going to assume the numbers are the same. We had 159 views on our YouTube channel, which is exciting because guarantee you only about 40 of those were me and Win.
Yeah, so that's like 100.
At least. That's fantastic.
That's very cool. So we either have really dedicated like 6 family members who are like,
yeah,
we'll watch it 10 times each, which is lovely. Go ahead, keep doing that. Makes us feel nice.
Yeah.
Or maybe some strange people.
If our
I meant
Instagram,
strangers.
Yeah.
Well, our one post,
strange people.
Our one post, our first post on our Instagram got 80 likes, and they were all from like these bizarre.
Stop.
Oh, sorry. What?
Like if you're gonna insult the people that are following us. Yeah, I know. Fucking weirdos.
I thought they were robots. Is my point. I thought they thought we were robots too, and they're like, robots got to stick together.
Maybe.
So they're like in our robot
bots.
post. Yeah.
No, so I think some of them were legit.
Okay, well, thank you, people.
Yeah. Anybody, if you took 45 minutes out of your day to listen to us go off about nothing, thank you. You're making our dreams come true. Bing!
Yes, it was really lovely. Like, I had a good time. I think the one big main feedback is let's try and keep it a little bit more structured if we can.
Whose feedback was this? Was this
mine? I listened to it and I was like, oh God. Just going down different paths.
No.
Trying to get out of the Tunnel Town. USA.
Yeah. Castle Black. I wrote down a few of my takeaways, a few things that I wanted to go back to. I want to say something other than pop culture. I want to put that out there. I'm happy with our name. If you recall, at the end, we were leaning towards something completely different, and we had to change it because that already existed.
Yep. Filthy Casuals is a podcast already.
About gamers, which makes more sense because I think that's
where the term comes from.
Gamer terminology. And then we were kind of just coming up with random words and names that we liked and kind of combined them and came up with Pop Rocks and Fake Fans because that's what we are. The Pop Rocks kind of comes up with pop culture. And that was what I was saying. I kind of want to come up with something else for pop culture.
Yeah, what's the other words that you
I
have a
don't
list?
know. I didn't make any list. I'm putting it out there into the universe. Like we did with our names, and we came up with something better. So I'm hoping maybe by the next episode I'll come up with something. But at the same time, that's like asking a true crime murder podcast not to say murder. Oh. You know what I mean?
It's like asking a murderer to stop saying murder. I was like, what? What?
No, that's not what I was getting
culture. Well, what the? Is it culture?
I think it's culture. I don't like.
Yeah. Pop Rocks. Let's just call it Pop Rocks.
No.
Just rebrand it to be Pop Rocks because that's in the name now.
Well, maybe at this point because we're not trying to establish everything. Maybe we'll just say it less naturally. Other takeaways that I had. Oh, the name of Adam Beach's shitty character in Suicide Squad was Slipknot. That was his name.
Also a band of music. That's my
a band
addition.
of musicians
who wear
play
masks.
music. Yeah, he shows up for 2 seconds, punches a woman in the face, and then tries to scale the wall. Like, that's his power.
He's a scaly boy.
So dumb. I was like,
and they're like, we'll kill him as an example. Pew pew.
Racial off-brand version of Batman. Immediately gets killed. The author we were trying to think of was Sherman Alexie.
And fuck him. Period. You don't support this man, we don't support this man. Fuck that guy. He had nothing to do with our childhoods.
Yeah, I'll take that back.
Had one movie.
Yep.
And it was garbage. Thomas is totally racist.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Native Americans don't act or look anything like Thomas. Thomas? Mr. Thomas.
I look like Thomas the other day.
With your red scarf and your naked chest. Wait.
Ew.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I thought we were talking about Mr. Thomas.
No. I'm talking about fucking Goat Man.
From Narnia.
The wild witch wardrobe.
You nailed it.
Lion the witch in the wardrobe. The wild witch and her wardrobe. Nah, that's just my autobiography.
We should probably explain why we said fuck Sherman Alexie, or do we just gonna drop that?
Nah, you can Google it if you want.
Alright, yeah, Google it. Disturb yourselves.
More of my breath. Whoops. I'm just gonna turn that off. My bad. Some other things that I was thinking of, another takeaway was why, for whatever reason, I couldn't think of any other thing that we were going to talk about. I just kept going back to, Harry Potter, RuPaul, The Simpsons.
Yeah,
I think at one point maybe we were like, Lord of the Rings, yeah, the other thing. I have so many, and I don't know if I should say them out loud right now to like ruin them.
Yeah.
Should I say them?
Just to show that we know more than 3 subjects would be nice, I think.
Okay. Why didn't we not think of Disney?
Oh my god.
We're like formed by Disney for whatever. So we're going to talk about Disney.
Scar was my first crush, and same with David Bowie as Goblin King.
Is that Disney?
No, but he was my first love, and that's why I brought him up. Continue.
Okay. Mine was Simba. I had a crush on Simba. I wanted to talk about underrated Disney movies. I wanted to talk about like really specific Simpsons episodes, like the episodes where Homer's just a background character. I love those. Those are like some of my most favorite episodes of The Simpsons, when he's just like cruising around in the background being silly and not like propelling the story in any way.
Do you know where the remote is?
Did you check your pocket?
It was in my pocket.
Game of Thrones. Obviously,
yes, Game of Thrones.
Do that.
I would love to do a whole episode about the last season and just like fucking get it. Get angry.
Mockumentaries. We mentioned Spinal Tap. Twilight, I think, would be fun. Pride and Prejudice, because that movie is super important to us and who we are as people and adults now. We're talking about, was it early 2000s? What's her name? Keira Knightley, Pride and Prejudice.
Yes.
Just that movie specifically. 80s comfort movies, that kind of thing.
Princess Bride.
Yeah. Labyrinth.
Yeah. As forementioned.
As by me. Star Wars, Avatar: Last Airbender, that kind of thing. Okay, so those are just some of the things. So I wanted to elaborate on them. I have about 15 more, but I don't want to give away too much. Assuming that we keep doing this.
We will do this every week, and we'll figure out a schedule because for whatever reason we were able to post again on a Tuesday like we did the first week.
And I was kind of hoping that's how it would be.
Yeah, a Tuesday, really?
Tuesday or Thursday? It's Thursday now.
Thursday would be cool.
It could just be
upload it today.
Yeah. We could do the letters. No.
The letters T.
The letter T. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Our podcast brought to you by the letter T. Here's the T.
No.
No.
That tea culture is just overdone now.
Yeah.
With the podcasts, I mean. There's plenty of tea podcasts because I follow them and they're amazing. But also, yeah.
You don't want to contribute.
Tea. No, I'm not into it unless it's like fantasy related tea. Fake tea.
Fake tea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like iced tea. Oh, that's terrible.
Just let it
Cut
sit.
it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. I don't want it. So this one is supposed to be what we left with last time. We wanted to talk about the difference between Harry Potter characters in the book versus how they were adapted to the screen. And I originally was going to go with just Ginny Weasley because I really loved her in the books, but the more I dug into it, it was just like Ron Weasley.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do a little bit of both.
So I'm very impressed with Kylie here. She has about 11 pages of notes. I did zero research about my topic. That's it. I did no research. I don't know what's wrong with me. I was like, shh, I know. I know what's up, and now I feel like I'm going to be blanking so bad because I feel so underprepared in comparison to you now.
Well, like this is...
You have actual, like, notes, like references in books and stuff. I thought we were just going to fly off the handle and hope we landed somewhere nice.
Well, I can't do that, and I think I've told you this before. When I'm left... If someone ever just, like, stuck me up on stage and was like, do a speech, I don't know what the fuck to talk about.
No.
I wouldn't be able to, like, some people can just do that. They're, like, natural and
in
like,
about
charismatic.
20 minutes. In about 20 minutes, I'll get there.
Okay.
But for about the first 20, I'm going to let you talk mostly because I'll need
I
to
feel like
warm
I've
up a
been
bit.
talking mostly.
Yeah, you're easing into it like a gimp suit.
Okay.
Gotta start with my feet first and,
Are your feet in?
Yeah, they're in.
Okay.
They're in the bottom.
All right. Well, then I'll start with my stuff. So I do have a few pages here, just for reference, and I did this because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, but at the same time, I read those with like such fervor at a really young age, and then I've reread them a few times over the years. But I mean, I'm constantly stuffing my brain with nonsense.
Yes,
and
stuff gets pushed out.
Stuff gets pushed out, and like that's what I mean. That's why I feel like it's important that we highlighted the whole fake fans bit of our podcast, because there are people that just hang on to it. That they just have that shit like stored. They have it at the ready. Like it's just like sitting on the surface, and me, I have to dig it up. So I had to do this.
Well, the way I mini researched for one 10-minute session sometime this week about Severus Snape was I just went through all the movies in my memory. I didn't watch the movies. I didn't look up clips. I just went into my mind palace and I was like, Phew! And I remembered things that I could reference, and that's all I did.
That's good.
Because I was like, if you do it that way, it's easier to recall because the movies are obviously way simpler than the books.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
I
So
felt
if
like
I want to go by movie, I will actually be able to contribute. But if not, it's fine.
But the whole point was to compare.
I remember the books. I remember some of the books.
Movie.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
I'll figure it out.
I even have a section here in my paper research about why Snape is the worst.
There we go. She'll do that part, and I'll do the good stuff.
So
we'll balance each other out.
So,
Boom.
People of the pod.
The pod listeners.
Our pod people. Isn't
What?
that a thing?
Pod people?
Pod people.
Podrick. Pod people?
Pod people. From something?
Cocoon?
Maybe.
In the pool with the old people?
Yeah.
Ew, Cocoon was weird. Should we talk about that for 1 second? I watched that shit as a kid. It's about a bunch of old people go swimming in a pool, and they're like, what the fuck are those big sacks of eggs down there? Weird. And they keep swimming, and then it's later revealed that the aliens decided to put rejuvenating goo in one pool and put their alien old ass brothers down there to like soak up the young juice, and these old people get the young juice. And then they open up the sack at the end of the movie, and the old aliens are still all old and wrinkly because their young juice was stolen. What the fuck is that movie?
I don't know. But I have such little recollection. I remember watching it. But thank you for that.
Well, see, I don't have to research. I just have to dive into there once something is clicked.
Okay.
But it's already gone.
Hey, what were we talking about?
It's gone.
Buffoon?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Buffoon?
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna dive into my stuff. Where are we? So we're talking about this topic to some people who are not Harry Potter book readers. They're movie watchers, and I feel like I don't want to sway your opinions on how you feel about these characters based on what you saw in the movies, which is my opinions and others. If you have read the book. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Ron Weasley. Ronald Bilious Weasley, the middle child of the Weasley children, I think.
No, he's the second youngest. Middle would be like George.
Oh my God. Ron would be me.
Yep.
Because there's 6 of them.
I would be Ginny.
Wait, no, there's not 6 of them. There's 7 of them.
7 of
them. Oh God,
them.
I'm doing terrible.
So you're Ginny and I don't exist.
Yep.
What?
No, you could be the ghost in the attic.
I'll be. It's a no, it's not a ghost.
It's poltergeist? Ghoul.
Ghoul. It's a ghoul.
Yeah.
Because they make it ginger and have warts on its face to pretend to be Ron in the 7th book,
yes.
I believe, right? They're like, yeah, Ron's here. And it's like the ghoul. He's like ginger haired and like all spotty, right?
This is probably something that you remember that I don't. But it sounds correct.
Okay, because I read a lot of fan fiction and things get my wires crossed. You know, when Ron and Harry hook up in the 3rd book.
Okay. So there's just a few things, I think, when you watch the movie, if you were just to take that perspective alone and were to be like, how do you think Ron is as a person? You would probably say...
He's a little bitch.
He's pretty fucking terrible because they make him, like, pretty shallow. Like, the bumbling best friend that doesn't really contribute that much. He's just there to, like, say funny things every once in a while and... I don't know, make light of situations or like panic so like the 2 other ones who are smarter and more heroic look better. And I hate that because if you read the books, Ron
is a trio.
They are literally called the Golden Trio, which I don't like the name of.
Not the Golden Tuo and Ron.
Yeah, and with them always is Ron. Like that's not what it is. Like they rounded out the trio very well, and Ron is an integral part of that. And part of the thing I think that they wash over way too easily in the movies, which doesn't make any fucking sense, is the fact that he is the only one of the 3 that is raised in a wizarding home. He's literally born and raised a wizard.
Yeah, a
pureblood wizard, and like everything when it comes to explaining the wizarding world to Harry or like anybody, that's usually what Ron did. He was kind of like their little guardian. Like Hermione and Harry are both raised in Muggle families, right? They know nothing of the wizarding world until they come to Hogwarts, when they get their letters when they're 11, and they take that part out of the movies completely. Like they give nothing to Ron. Like in the books, he's always like explaining things to Harry and Hermione about the way things work in the wizarding world. But there's a theory that the writer Steve Kloves, who I think wrote the majority of the movies, he admitted, like, at the very beginning that he adored Hermione. Like, Hermione's character was the best out of all of them, like, any of the characters. So he took things that Ron would say and gave them to Hermione in the movie to make her look better. Which they didn't fucking need to do, because Hermione's brilliant on her own. Yeah. They did not need to pad her in any way. She was perfect as she was, as the character that she was. But this dude was like, nah, you know what? Ron's gonna be a little bitch. He's gonna be jealous. He's not gonna contribute anything. He's just gonna be there. And I'm gonna give all of that to Hermione. And I hate that. So I was kind of leaning into that whole bit when I was doing my research. And a couple of things, obviously, that stuck out in the very first movie and then the very first book. The scene where they are going after the troll that was released in the dungeons in Philosopher's Stone.
By Professor Quirrell.
As you find out at the end. Who was
Spoiler alert.
Who was sharing a face head with Voldemort.
Yes, face head.
Face head. The troll's released, and the same thing in the book as it is in the movies. Hermione's in the bathroom, and the boys, Harry and Ron, go to check on her to, like, make sure she's okay, and it finds out that the troll is in that bathroom. Whoa! In the movie, Ron is like bumbling around, like trying to figure out the spell to do, and Hermione has to like guide him through it while she's like she's yelling at him from the like underneath the little sink there, like because he can't, figure anything out ever. He needs constant guidance. He does it successfully. Does his little incantation. Yeah. But in the book, like that's all him. Him and Harry like work together. They like figure it out. Hermione's literally like freaking out for her life in the stalls or like under the sink. She can't do anything to help them. But that's just Ron coming up with things on the fly, on his own, showing you that he is a smart and helpful character. Right? Mm-hmm. Small little thing. It's the first time that the trio do anything together. And I think it's really important that they had given that to Ron, but instead in the fucking movie they're just like, yeah, he's dumb, so Hermione has to like tell him what to do even though she's like freaking out for her life.
And Severus Snape in that scene, he's all bloody and bitten up by Fluffy because he went to go and stop Professor Quirrell from getting into the basement where the Philosopher's Stone is. And it kind of confuses me because I thought Hagrid actually liked Severus Snape, like Professor Snape in the books, but I can't prove that because I didn't do any research. But he just let Fluffy bite a professor who's, like, protecting the Philosopher's Stone. Isn't that weird?
Well, Hagrid doesn't have control of the dog.
Literally attack anyone if you don't play a harp.
Yeah.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah. That's how I understand it.
And also, what? That's so good. He's a wizard. He gets bit by this huge dog with 3 heads, but he's got like a little gash in his leg that he doesn't repair or wrap with the binding and fix his pant.
He just leaves it all
open. He leaves it all exposed and like run to the girl's bathroom. Like, it's so weird to me.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's how plots move forward, is for Harry to be like, I don't trust him still. Look at his bloody leg.
Yeah. That he obviously didn't have time to fix.
And then the next day he's like, I knew it. He's limping. That really did happen then.
It did. Yeah. What else we have here? One of the big things I think that kept coming up, and I think all of us, anybody who read the books and watched the movies, it seems like a minor thing, but it always stood out to me in the second movie. So this is Chamber of Secrets. Ron is the one to explain what a mudblood is. Mm-hmm. They give the line to Hermione. They give him all the good fucking lines.
And it's such a, like, monologue. She, it means dirty blood. And she, like, spins to the camera. It's all dramatic.
Out the window.
And Ron's just, like, all green over a bucket.
Yeah. But instead, in the movie, it's Ron is the only one who actually reacts. Harry and Hermione don't know. Like,
yeah, that's true. Right?
Malfoy says it, and then Ron freaks out and tries to curse him, but his wand's broken, so it backfires and it shoots him in the stomach, and he starts throwing up slugs. But Harry and Hermione don't know why Ron reacts. They're like, I don't know what Malfoy said, actually. Like, what was it? Like, why was it such a big deal? And then Ron has to explain.
And does he say the word, and Hagrid's like, oh!
Yeah.
In the book.
Yeah. Like Hagrid knows, right?
He did not.
Yeah. The other thing, the one thing that I completely forgot about until I was reading over examples, and this was one of the examples of why Snape was such an asshole, was in the first... No, it's not. It's the third one. It's the one when Snape makes fun of Hermione for answering a question that he asks the students
know-it-all.
And tells the class that she's an insufferable know-it-all and makes her feel bad because Snape just fucking bullies children for fun.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And in the movie, Ron leans over and is like, he's got a point, like to Hermione after he like rips on it. In the book,
they all have her back.
Fucking Ron like stands up to Snape and like yells at him and is like, you just asked the student, she just asked us to answer this question and she did it, like why do you need to like pick on her, blah blah blah. He like, none of this exists in the movie. None of this exists. He's just this flat, shitty little character that contributes barely anything. I'm sorry.
You're talking about Severus Snape?
Ron.
Oh, okay.
Also, Snape is a shitty
Snape doesn't do a lot in the movies, but what he does good. He does right.
It's not coming back here.
Well, because Alan Rickman's perspective of what Severus Snape's character is just kind of like, oh, he's like brooding and dark and complex, and
They don't
he
make
means
him...
well. But in the book, he's just a greasy, nasty,
obsessive,
fucking incel who was obsessed with one person who was nice to him once, and then is responsible for her death, and is like, I'm gonna obsess over her still
and torment her orphan son every year.
Who grew up like Snape. Like, Harry grew up like Snape. He was abused by his caregivers. He wasn't given proper clothing. He wasn't given proper food. He was given no support. He never wanted to go home for the holidays because Hogwarts became his home, just like Snape. Hogwarts was his home, right? Like, in the 7th book, it's revealed that, like, Snape was dressed in, like, literal, like, rags. He had, like, a woman's shirt on and, like, pants that didn't fit him. So the second he's on the train, he, like, changes into his school robes and never, like, gets out of them again. And apparently he doesn't wear anything underneath because when he's flipped upside down, you can see his underwear. James Potter's like, haha, take that, you fucking, like, sad, abused little nerd who's all
gonna
greasy,
bully you,
who's friends with the girl I have a crush on.
To be fair, though, if you're leaning more into... when became all disheveled while she was talking.
Because you're all fired up.
Her hair started to stand
like
up.
Hayao Miyazaki character. Everything's rising.
He's about to
got my
start
hackles
flying.
up. Yeah. I will defend Severus Snape to the end.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
But anyway,
again, they're trying to make James seem like obviously he was shit to him.
I think in the 5th book, when Harry accidentally goes into Snape's mind, or his pensive, I forget, and he sees that his dad is an actual bully, is so, like, heartbreaking for Harry because
he defended him.
He thought that man is his hero, that man is his father, and then it turns out he's no better than fucking, like, Dudley. Just picking on him.
To an extent.
No. They almost killed Severus Snape in the 3rd book. We find out that James... Sirius tells Severus how to get underneath the Whomping Willow and where the tunnel is, and he's like, fucking go find it out then, da-da-da. And then he lets Severus go down there when Remus is transformed in the Shrieking Shack as a werewolf. And then James is like, oh my god! And he, like, goes to stop it because he's like, Sirius, what the fuck were you thinking? And Sirius is like, I don't know, I thought we wanted to kill him. I'm kidding, he didn't say that. But James is responsible for saving Severus's life. And then Dumbledore tells baby Snape, like, you can't say anything, I'm sorry, we have to keep Remus here, he's a student, it's not his fault, I'm sorry this happened, but no, I can't punish James or Sirius for almost killing you, and you're not allowed to tell anyone. That's why in the 3rd book, when, like, shit's going down, Snape's like, look at Dumbledore like, oh really? We're gonna do what now? We're not gonna do who now? Because Dumbledore fucked him over, and he's, like, using that to get rid of Remus, I think, as a professor.
What I was going to say...
About what?
About James. And
Fuck
the way
James.
No.
He's a bully.
I know, James is an asshole, but I'm just saying... Just saying, there was a lot of things there that he was... standing up for Lily in a lot of ways, and obviously it came out as just, like, jealousy, him being, like, petty and bullying. But the fact that Snape was already at this point in their lives so far into, like, the dark arts, and he was hanging out with basically every person that became a Death Eater that was in Slytherin.
And he was hanging out with Death Eaters because I'm pretty sure Lucius graduated and was a Death Eater while Severus was in school. Later
on, like, in a few years in, when he eventually calls Lily a mudblood, like when he's, like, under duress, right? Like they're arguing, they're fighting.
And Lily's kind of laughing.
However, okay,
heartbreaking for Snape.
He calls her a mudblood
and apologizes.
And then she comes back and he's like, the only time you ever apologized was to me when you say it to all my other friends all the time. So it's not like Snape was just, like, said it once because it finally burst out and it was the only thing he could say to kind of hurt Lily. He calls all her mudblood friends, honey, I have it saved in my pages.
Where's the quote? Scrolls forever.
The fucking creepy moment where he saves her picture.
Ew, yes, I hate that, actually. Let's talk. Okay, so she scrolled past something talking about Snape saving Lily's photo, and it was a family fucking photo, and he rips the part of the photo with just Lily in it and keeps it, and keeps Lily's smile fuck, man, book Snape's fucking nasty. Also, movie Snape, when they added in him finding Lily's corpse and holding it while fucking baby Harry's traumatized and crying behind him, that's also fucked up. Not in the book. Shouldn't have been in the movie. Very stupid. What does it add? Nothing. His precious Death Eaters call them Mudbloods. Mudbloods. I don't think he does. And he's like sobbing and crying, like, forgive me.
In the movie. What are you doing?
Say hi.
Hi. Hi. We're recording.
Are you?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes. Go away.
Oh my god, I'm just gonna press pause.
Lily Evans, Deathly Hallows, Chapter 33, The Prince's Tale. But you call every one of my birth mudblood Severus?
He calls all the mudblood Severus. Your Severus, your Severus, and your Severus.
My emphasis matters. But you call every one of my birth mudblood Severus? I should have a fucking comma in there. Why should I be any different?
Allegedly.
Wyona!
Okay, fine. He was a dirtbag in the books. Bravo.
Well, that was the whole point. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my Ron thing a little bit. There's a couple other things I want to say.
See?
Oh!
Hold on. Can I also make a note that we got 25 minutes in and I got all energetic?
Okay.
I need time to ease in.
So every episode, guys, is gonna take 20 minutes for me to want to be involved.
I'll be silent and then I'll be
so
loud and obnoxious. Ronald Weasley.
Oh, the other one that I really like, and this is also from Prisoner of Azkaban. I don't know if I actually got that far yet. But in Prisoner of Azkaban, at the end ish. It's not quite the end, it's right before they do the time turner thing. When Sirius, when he's in his animagus form, which is when he's a dog, and he grabs Ron by the ankle and drags him underneath the Whomping Willow,
all the way to the
basically
Shrieking
like
Shack.
breaks his foot, right? So Ron's like all bloody, broken foot. And at this point, they don't know that Sirius is good. So Harry and Hermione go chasing after him. And then Severus Snape hasn't showed up yet. So they're just standing up between Sirius and Harry. And they think that Sirius is going to kill Harry. Because at this point, they think he's evil.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then in the book, Ron, all fucking broken-legged and bloody, stands up all shaky and pale and sweaty. And he's standing up between Sirius and Harry because they think that Sirius is trying to kill Harry Potter. He stands up and he says, if you're going to kill him, you're going to have to kill us too. So like Ron, who is like, again, in the movie, just always shown as any time that there's like
he's sitting
something
on the bed in the movie and he's going, yeah, and points behind the door.
He's just like a little sniveling little turd, like not contributing anything. Again, who gets this line in the movie? Hermione!
Mm-hmm. But also, in the books, it's quite obvious how much Severus Snape yells, because he yells for like 3 pages when he finally gets to the Shrieking Shack, right? Mm-hmm. He's just like livid at Sirius, because Sirius tried to fucking kill him and he bullied him, whatever.
Yeah. Wasn't that an Alan Rickman choice though? Didn't he say that like he had made the decision
he would never yell.
That he would not yell the way that he did? Like in his mind, it made him more foreboding.
Yes,
I think that he was like.
Yes, like yeah,
fans.
Oh my god. And it's so good because in the movie, maybe in the book, I think in the book too, but he lets Harry attack Sirius, right? Harry's raising his wand, pointing at Sirius, and Severus Snape's like, get it, girl. And then he's like, stupefy, right? And then like 3 other people, I think Ron does it and Hermione does it as well at the same time, so all 3 of them cast stupefy at Severus Snape.
Expelliarmus?
And that's why he spirals and gets knocked out.
Right.
Because they all cast it at the same time, right? But in the movie, it's just Harry who casts. And I think they're implying because it's Hermione's wand and he's not used to it, that's why it was so powerful.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Fact check me. Again, didn't do any research. This is from the old mind box. And, okay, continuing on. It's discovered that Peter Pettigrew is the fucking skis bag. They should have stupefied him and bound him immediately, but now they're like, well, I'll just point my wand at you and you walk out of here with us. Remus, you come too, into the moonlight. Leave Severus's corpse there. But, but in the book, Sirius, hovers Severus Snape out of the building because they're all going together back to the school. And I remember in the book, he let Severus's head hit the top of the tunnel, all the way down. thought that was so petty and weird.
Okay, this just makes me want to reiterate something that I don't think that people get. Again, if you've seen the movies, you are going to think for some fucking reason that Sirius and Severus and Remus are all in their like 50s.
They're supposed to be 30.
Damn near 60s. They're supposed to be in their mid 30s.
Like 33.
Like our age. Like that's in, and I mean like
But they're
I
all
could
60.
and they're all fucking 60. Like they're amazing actors. They did like this really wonderful job, but like damn it, man.
Yeah, Alan Rickman
That's supposed
was
to be
like
me.
60. Yeah.
That's my age. They're my age, and the reason why I want to highlight that is because I would be that petty. I would not have matured enough at this point to be like gentle and kind to the person that fucked me over when I was a child. Like, no, I am gonna let your dumb dead body bang against the ceiling because it makes me feel good. Because that's what I would do.
And that's why, Harry starts seeing Sirius
Not dead body.
as like
Unconscious body.
he starts seeing Sirius as like a friend more than as a guardian, and Sirius clearly sees Harry the same way, because in the end his last words are like, "Good one, James," because he sees Harry as James, like his friend's back with him.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, so when they get out of the Whomping Willow, Remus starts transforming, even though Severus like literally said when he went down there, "Oh, you forgot your potion, Remus." And everyone's like, let's forget that. Let's forget it's a full moon. Whatever. Remus starts transforming. And then in the movie, I can't remember if it's in the book too, but Severus is like, huh. And he like shows up. He's like, what are you three doing? And they're like, ah, like panicking.
He stands between the kids.
He grabs them and he hides them behind his back.
The kids.
And then he gets...
The three kids.
So yeah. Severus stands in front of the kids, pulls them behind his back, faces the werewolf, and then like Remus like slaps him down on the ground, and he like collapses back on them, and then he like is about to attack Harry, and then future Hermione is like, ow.
Are you following us?
We'll do the whole movie. But my point of saying all that was he protected the kids. He protected the kids, and that was so sweet.
The grounds are covered in dew.
Yeah, and then fucking Peter Pettigrew's just like, bye, I got a wand somehow.
Fucking Peter Pettigrew.
I'm gonna go find baby Voldemort. Allegedly. Voldemort was like eating frogs and snakes and shit, and then Bathilda Bathshot?
Yeah.
Allegedly, I don't know why I'm talking about that, was pregnant, and they took the baby and morphed it with Voldemort, and that's why he was a baby Voldemort.
I don't remember that either.
No, that's not in the books at all. This is hinted at from hints from J.K. Rowling.
Rowling.
I want to say Rowling.
Fine.
Even though Rowling
anyway,
is the correct
fuck
one.
her. I don't even want to say her name properly. I don't even know who wrote these books.
Also, one more tidbit. I'm so sorry, but talking about cool Severus Snape scenes from the movies. In the second movie, when Gilderoy Lockhart is like, oh, I need a helper monkey. I need a helper monkey. And then he's like, Professor Snape, come on up here, or whatever. And just like the whole scene, he's like going up there with his arms crossed, and they like get into position, and then they cast their first spell, and it's supposed to be done like speedy, accurate, but for whatever reason, Alan Rickman decides to go Expelliarmus, just like the biggest pause, and it's like Expelliarmus, Stupefy. Other spells. You just say it really quickly, but for whatever reason they're like, yeah, that's cool, he said it that way. And he doesn't de-wand Gilderoy Lockhart. His wand stays in his hand, he just tumbles through the air and collapses. Yeah, his wand is supposed to fly out of his hand and into Severus Snape's hand.
Literally, it's a disarming spell.
Yeah, that's it.
It's Expelliarmus. Expel from your armus. If we want to break down the Latin of these spells,
Expelliarmus.
Literally what it means. That's dumb.
But anyways, it was a cool scene.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to what I was trying to talk about. I'm winding down here. Like I wanted just to take like a few examples and elaborate on them. The last one I actually thought was interesting, which I really like, which I found in my research again. They were talking about when they were in the DA, so that's Dumbledore's army in the 5th book, Order of the Phoenix, and they take it upon themselves, a bunch of the students in the, not just the 5th year, it's like a bunch of students, right? Like over a few years.
Yeah, older students, younger students.
Dolores Umbridge isn't teaching them anything.
Yeah, they're not getting their education.
So they take it upon themselves to do a bunch of training in the Room of Requirement, and the movie scene when they're doing like a little montage of all of them getting better at different spells, Ron and Hermione are going to go against each other. Like they were going to have a duel against each other, and Ron whispers to Hermione, like, don't worry, I'll take it easy on you, right? And like, which is whatever, like you don't think anything of it, you think he's just being a like shitty little dude, you know, like obviously at this point they're establishing something of a relationship with them. But in the in the book, when they talk about that little exchange, like Ron doesn't fucking do that. Like all he is happy about is the fact that he manages to disarm Hermione like once. Mm-hmm. That's it, because he knows that this woman is going to absolutely like hand his ass over to him while they're learning. Ron is happy that he's able to disarm her a couple of times, and Hermione's being a sore loser. Uh-huh. She's being a little shit about it because that's how she is. She has flaws, people. In the book, they lean into the fact that she has, you know, more flaws than they give her in the movies.
Yeah, she's very competitive.
She's very competitive. She's super petty. Like
that's why she was so annoying about the whole Half-Blood Prince book. Mm-hmm. She was like, we need to find out who wrote it. Who wrote this? Yeah. You can't be doing these spells.
You can't be deviating from what it says in the textbook. You have to follow the textbook.
And I think she actually gets the book taken away to like get Professor McGonagall to check it for any like curses or something. It just pisses off Harry and Ron because they're like, what's the big deal, Hermione?
If she would do that, why didn't she find out what Sectum Semper was?
Oh, I think she meant like actually checking the actual book for like kisses.
Oh, I see.
Through the pages and shit. Because if you get to page 69 and then you're like struck down with some sort of
weird sex
spell.
Anyway, oh no, that wasn't my last one. This is just leaning into him being a douchebag in the Deathly Hallows, was how they changed what Ron yells at Harry when he leaves. So in the book, Ron is getting mad at Harry. It's not, so in the movie they imply it's more about Harry and Hermione's relationship and how Ron's becoming jealous of them being too close or having conversations without him and blah 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 blah. But in the movie, the thing that sets him over the edge really is Harry's being too cavalier about listening to the radio and getting the updates about everybody who's been killed, and then also what's going on at Hogwarts. And I completely forgot about this. So in the book, when they're listening to what's happening with the kids at school, which includes Ginny, he finds out that Snape punishes Ginny, Neville, and Luna and sends them into the Forbidden Forest. And Harry's reaction is, they send them to the Forbidden Forest. That's nothing. They can handle that. That's no big deal. But Ron at this point has been like worried sick about his entire family, expecting to hear that one of them is dead or that something horrible has happened to Ginny at school while it's being taken over by Death Eaters, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what like sends him over the edge. And his reaction in the movie, what he tells Harry when he leaves is, your parents are dead, you have no family. That's what he yells at Harry before he leaves, because he's like telling him that he's being insensitive. But in the book, what he actually says is, Harry says, my parents are dead, and then Ron says, and mine could be going the same way.
That wasn't the good ending you wanted it to be. But like the point is that he seemed totally unjustifiable in the movies, and just being fucking petty and mean and jealous. Ron, take the necklace off. You're not thinking straight. But in the book, it's very obvious that they're all really overworked and stressed out. And Ron keeps listening to the radio, and Harry's like, "Can you turn that fucking thing off for a bit? Like, I can't hear this right now." But Ron is insisting to like listen to the static until like maybe his brothers will like come on and be like, so and so's alive or something, just for reassurance, right? Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I might have to edit that out.
No, it was good. I was like, just like...
I didn't deliver it well enough.
You did great. You did great.
So Ron says...
See, this is what you're doing.
Okay. He says, Oh, you're sure? Are you? Right then. Well, I won't bother myself about them. It's all right for you two, isn't it, with your parents safely out of the way? That's what Ron says, which is also very insensitive. And then Harry says, my parents are dead. And then Ron says, and mine could be going the same way, which is...
That's not mean at all, really.
It's not, it makes sense. But in the fucking movie, they're just, like, Ron's like, your parents are dead. Which he would never fucking say. You have no family. Which also is very mean because Ron and Hermione are his family. The Weasleys are his family, right? Like, they just... They did him dirty. That's basically just what I want to get across here.
Is he implying in the movie when he walks in that Hermione and Harry are like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember with the little deluminator? He turns the lights off and on? Yeah. Oh, I'm still here. It's like, well, they don't fucking forget about you, man. Like, they're just discussing what's the next move. And it's like one of the first times they have any kind of little breakthrough.
Yeah, it's
and then Ron's like, nah. But what about my feelings?
Because the necklace.
Ooh, shall I lean into why Snape is a fucking dick?
You go right ahead and I'll swing those down.
Okay, no, see, the whole point, the reason why we brought this up is that the Snape, movie Snape is not that bad. He obviously still has like a lot of problems, a lot of issues, and there are things there that like any normal, sane, secure person shouldn't mimic.
In the movies, the few classroom scenes that he has, he just looks like a strict teacher, and he's not
picks on children.
In the movies, it doesn't look that bad. Like even when he's like, you're supposed to be paying attention. Nah, 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 nah. It just sounds like, okay, he's kind of a dick teacher. But in the books, it's like, I don't see any difference when Hermione's teeth are growing and she's like just sobbing and trying to cover her mouth. Ron's like, show him, Hermione, show him. And he's trying to make Hermione's hands come down to show Snape that one of the Slytherins cursed her and her teeth were growing abnormally large. Yeah. And Snape's response is, I don't see any difference.
Yeah, well,
and then she's like, and she like cries and runs away. Yeah. And then it turns out that she shrunk her teeth down to like a more normal, socially acceptable size, I guess. Yeah. Like, now you're kind of hot, Hermione. Mm-hmm. Victor Crumbs noticed. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I agree. He was a fucking asshole in the movie, or in the books. Mm-hmm. In the movies, he's just a strict teacher. I don't know, he's fucking gothic and hot. Like, what do you want me to say?
Well, no, I'm sorry. His obsession with Lily is still gross. Like, that's still a lie, and it's still a really weird excuse for him to torment this child. There's this point that somebody made, which I thought was really interesting. The reason why he leans into, like, being such a bully to Harry is because of how much he looks like James, and he hated James, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he hated James and was obsessed with Lily, and was like, if Harry had actually just turned out looking like Lily, or if he was a girl, you like, how fucking Ron would that be? Like, and he would have. He absolutely fucking would have. Because he's like, look at me. I need to see Lily's eyes before I die. Right? Like,
it's fucked up. Yeah, I agree.
Is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But again, in the book, like, you are missing so much of what is so wrong with this character. Like, when you talk about those incel vibes, right? The involuntary celibates, the people who blame women for being miserable in their lives or having like no romantic relationships. That's essentially what he is and what he's doing with his him being friend zoned by fucking Lily just because like what she owed him something because she was kind to him. Yeah, and he hangs on to it for his whole life, his entire life. Like there's because they were friends when they were children.
From, like, age 10 to 14.
Yeah, and then, like, he obsesses until he dies. To the moment he dies. Like, no. Yeah. No.
No, I agree. I know these things, but that's not translated in the films. Like, yes, he gets a montage at the end of the 7th film, but it's like, Harry's just like, wow, this guy sacrificed having a normal life just to protect me because he loved my mother so much. How beautiful. I'll name my son after him. Just the middle name, though. Still kind of creepy. Come here, Albus. And
Who also tormented me my whole life, but disguised it with kindness.
Exactly. He used it. Snape's obsession with Lily and brought it up all the time to like just keep stringing Snape along to like, oh, you want fucking Lily Potter's son to die? You want Lily Evans' son to die after you killed his mother? Who was his mother again? Lily.
It's funny that you bring this up.
Did you see that
list here?
Hold on, did you see that TikTok I sent you earlier?
No.
When Voldemort's like, Severus, we have a traitor amongst us. Severus like, who do you think it is, my lord? Voldemort's like, traitor says what? And he's like, what? He's like, I knew it, you lily lover. Avada
You lily lover.
You lily lover, yeah.
Yellow livered lily. Wasn't that a thing?
Yellow liver lily lover. And to my right, the yellow lily lover.
Reasons why Snape hated certain characters. A list. Harry because he looked like his father, who Lily loved. Hermione because she was Muggle-born, reminded him of Lily. Ron because he had red hair, just like Lily. Every Gryffindor ever, because Lily was a Gryffindor, and that kind of reminder is a heavy burden to carry. Hedwig because she had feathers and Lily used to use quills. Lockhart because he reminded him of how he was locked out of Lily's heart. Hagrid because he was half giant and his mother was giant. Okay. Would you like some water, Severus? Water? Lily used to drink water. Okay, that's it. I went through my notes. I did it.
Oh, it's so good.
I didn't even go into my Ginny notes, but that would be...
Ginny. Period.
Okay, just in a nutshell, Ginny, way better in the book. Much more dynamic.
Yeah, she was a little prankster.
She was badass. Right? She was funny. She was witty. She was like...
Female Snape. Snape chaser, sorry. Seeker. Wow, sorry.
She was a seeker.
Snape on the brain.
But then she was a chaser when Harry was on the team. Mm-hmm. She won the cup for them when Harry was in detention.
And that was their first kiss in the book.
First kiss, which
he was like,
so much better.
Oh my god. And he just like scoops her up in his arms and kisses her. And then he looks at Ron and Ron's like, well, if you gotta. Gives him a shrug, right? But in the fucking movie, she takes him up to the room of requirement. She's like, we got to hide this little naughty book you have.
You could hide me up there too.
She's like, close your eyes. Both of them.
Harry's just sitting there with one eye open.
She goes and chucks the book in the corner and then comes back and kisses him and then slides away. And she's like, that can stay up here too if you like. Fucking stupid. And
she ties his fucking shoes while she's in her bathrobe. Like, what is that?
Gross. Barefoot, like, fucking maidenly.
I will say that you know that these movies were written by men.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, as much as whatever J.K. Rowling has done since then, she was still writing strong female characters. And then they interpreted him into shitty little men perspective characters.
They didn't bring up one thing, was that Ginny was a Quidditch player at all in the movies.
And then she literally becomes like a professional
cannoner.
Yeah,
or the
Harley
female
had harpies.
Yeah.
Harley had harpies. Yeah, she becomes like a professional Quidditch player, and they don't lean into that at all. She just happens to be on the team.
That's perfect for Harry. That's like his soulmate. It's a bro who he can bang. It's female Ron.
It's female Ron.
That's what Harry wanted.
Well,
I mean, he wanted Ron.
She's like, super smart. She's very capable, and they don't express that at all.
And she does the bat bogey hex better than anyone. Mm-hmm. Did she invent that?
I don't think she invents it. She's just mastered it. Yeah. Like she hits Draco in the face with it in Order of the Phoenix. Yeah. Before they go and take off to the Ministry.
Yeah.
Because he's part of the fucking shitty little Umbridge club.
Yeah.
Yeah. She hits him right in the face with a bat bogey hex, which is just super satisfying because he's such a dick.
Okay, so speaking of the fifth movie, it is dickish that when they're all in Umbridge's office being like questioned, and then Umbridge slaps Harry, like, tell me where they are, or whatever. And then Snape comes in and he's like, what's up? And then she's like, I need more truth serum. And he's like, you used to talk confronting Miss Chang. And then Harry's like, Chang was still cool. Or something. Cho was still cool. Sorry, Cho and Chang are both first names. I get confused.
Yeah, racist. Not you, her.
But in the movie, Harry's like, they've got Snuffles. They've got Snuffles in the place where it's hidden, and they're killing him. Help me, Professor, or something. I forgot the words.
Scruffy.
And then Dumbledore's like, Dolores. Did I say Dumbledore earlier?
And Snuffles. The fuck is Snuffles?
Really poorly. Oh my god, we should just get drunk and then like do the whole movie, and try to like recap.
Oh my god! No, but we're not allowed to watch them ahead of time. No. We're just gonna go off memory.
Because Snuffles, Dumbledore, all wrong. They're in Dolores Umbridge's office, and Dolores is like, "What is he talking about, Snape?" And then Snape looks at her and he's like, "No idea." And then he walks away.
Bounces.
And because of that action...
Flounces away.
Because of that action, the kids end up flying to the Ministry and bursting through, and fucking Sirius isn't even there. Mm-hmm. It was all like a ploy.
And then Sirius gets there, and when he gets there, he gets killed.
Yeah, so Severus did that, and that's really uncool.
Yeah, you brought that up. All right, well, that's all I had. Well, I had more, but I don't want to go into it. I feel like I covered my bases here. Touched on the things.
I loved Severus Snape in the 4th movies because he's literally comic relief.
Yeah.
It was a fun little twist. I remember watching the movie like, what the fuck? I was like, huh.
Well, he's he's involved enough because he's
got the whole thing with Igor.
Karkaroff. Yeah. With the Death Eater thing.
And also they made Igor Karkaroff like Russian or something in the movies.
Karkaroff sounds pretty Russian.
No, but in the books he's not.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive. Because they write out all of Victor Crumb's line like, "Wer is Hermino Nini?" But for Igor Karkaroff, he's like, now, Victor, they might find out where we're all hidden up in those mountains. So just the way they like typed out Igor's lines, I'm assuming that he wasn't Russian.
Okay.
I just thought that was a weird...
That's fair.
Whatever. He's fine being Russian because in the flashbacks, he's not Russian anymore. In the flashbacks, when he's getting interrogated by...
No, because he goes, Barty Crouch Jr.
Hold on.
Hold on. How squeaky I went?
He went up high. I swear to God, he didn't have an accent in the flashback. He was talking weird. I guess I'm done talking now. I'm blinking. Anyways, Severus is funny in the 4th movie.
Yeah, he's good.
And in the 5th movie, I love that line. Dolores is like, "You applied first for the position of the Dark Arts Professor." Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "And you were unsuccessful?" And he's like, "Obviously." I love that. And then Ron's like, and the second Dolores saw the way he like slaps Ron upside the head.
Yeah.
That's also funny. Yeah. Doesn't that seem like a funny, like, he's a mean professor, but he's kind of funny sometimes?
I'm not saying that they made him the absolute worst in the movies, but he's still bad.
But
not a good person.
I don't care. I love the villains.
There's some people that thought that Hitler was okay.
Oh my god, Severus Snape is not Hitler. He wouldn't even be a Nazi.
No, he would be. No, he's absolutely a fucking Nazi.
No, he's not.
Voldemort is Hitler. The Death Eaters are Nazis.
I know, but he wouldn't be a Nazi. He'd be like...
Previous me. On that note.
He's a defective.
No, we gotta wrap this up here, girl.
What? Wrap up time. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for joining in. I don't know about this one either. I didn't know about the first one. I mean, we're gonna put it out there. We'll see who eats us up. I feel like this is a little niche. However, this is one of the biggest fandoms in the world, which is why we're leaning into it. And this was the idea. Like, we didn't want to just talk vaguely about everything. We wanted themes. This was our first theme. I hope it I
We have to edit that out.
I wanted to say tickled your fancy.
I hope it fickled your tansy.
I hope it wingardiumed your leviosa. I hope it expellied your armis.
I hope it slithered in. I hope it griffined your jaw.
I hope it huffled your puff.
I hope it ravened your claws.
On that, pockets in.
Shasha!